RD, I know Sam Pittman could have used you, but he was talking about Travis Williams there. T. Will, about 18 games in, has shown he's not just a capable defensive coordinator, but he's a guy that maybe has a future in the head coaching profession. What have you thought about him on the recruiting tail? The stories you've heard, the parents you've talked to, the kids that have mentioned T. Will. How important is he to the fabric of Razorback football right now?
I think what you see on TV is a small sampling of what he's like, and just a small sampling is very impressive. When I say that, I'm talking about just how genuine he is. He is one of the most genuine guys you'd ever want to meet, and I think that's something that anytime you come across somebody that is just themselves, you don't, especially in football. As a coach, and you're being recruited, and you're a parent, you're a young man, and you don't feel like that anything that he's doing is a put on. There's plenty of coaches that kind of put on a show, kind of present themselves in a way that maybe they're not necessarily that way, outside of the recruiting process, but T. Will is about as genuine as you're going to come, and he's just full of energy. And when you talk to him, you don't feel like that he's talking down to you. You don't feel like that he feels like he's better than you. He's just Travis Williams, and he can make you feel so relaxed. And I've said it on our message board. And I don't say this lightly. If I had a son, I'd want my son to play for Travis Williams. He's that good of a man. And then you throw in his coaching ability. That's a heck of a combination, because he can recruit very well and also coach very well. And when you have somebody that you feel so relaxed around, and I guarantee you that's the way it is with a lot of these families and these kids that he recruits. And even guys that he secondary recruits, as far as, guys that are being recruited to play defense, that other guys on the staff are primarily the, lead recruiter. But when they get to meet T. Will, that's a huge bonus.
And I think as we tie this back into Coach Pittman, now, Tommy's not here right now. And if any of you try and tell him that I say to compliment him about him, I will deny it till the day I die. But one of the things Tommy's really good about doing as really the sports executive and behind-the-scenes guy at times of these radio stations is, whether it's Chuck, Bo, Phil, Matt, Derek, Zach, me at times, he puts us in the best positions possible. And he's always complimentary of his team, not just our on-air team, but our production team, our sales team, Big C, Colton, DQ, everyone. And Pittman's really good, what I've noticed, about the first thing out of his mouth is his players and coaches. He had Bobby lead some thing in the locker room, RD at the tail end of the game. He immediately gave Coach Williams a game ball after that. I mean, that's got to be a guy that you would like working for, at least from the outside looking in. Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah, there's no doubt. And I think it's a reflection of his personality. Also, his reflection of his personality is also by the people that he hires. And when you have certain characteristics yourself, you want to see the same things in the guys that you hire, and I think that's what he's done. And I think when you see T. Will also, and similar to what you just said, his defensive staff, Deke Adams,
Deke Adams is a dude, RD. I mean, he is dude after dude.
Mm-hmm. And he's recruiting very well, and I think that's also a plus. It shows what happens when you have stability on your coaching staff. Deke's going into his third year, so he's had a couple of years of developing relationships with a lot of these kids, and that helps. And that's why he's obviously been able to recruit well. And plus, when you look at his resume, that's impressive, and kids pay attention to that too. But I mean, then you throw in Coach Woods and Coach Wilson. I mean, all those guys are solid individuals, and you can tell that chemistry within that defensive staff is just so solid, and their respect for one another, and then obviously their respect for Coach Williams.
I'll tell you what else is solid. The intel that we get from Richard Davenport each and every Wednesday. He joins us at 10 o'clock. Richard's with Whole Hog Sports, Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Richard, you had a lot of guys in attendance this past weekend. Kane Archer, Lance Jackson, to kind of the top-end guys. After what happened, is it even easier to bring guys in for LSU? I know there's some big-time games next weekend. You think about Texas and Georgia. You think about Alabama and Tennessee. But is it an easy pitch to get guys in for another night game when they take on LSU next weekend?
Sure, makes it a lot easier after, obviously, what just happened. There's no doubt that, the kids maybe, even if they didn't see the game, they saw the highlights and then saw the rushing of the field. Stuff like that, obviously, when you have momentum, that makes it much easier to reach out to kids and get a response and get them to have maybe a little bit more interest in coming to your campus for a game. And from what I've gathered, that's been the case after the Tennessee game. That the conversations with kids that maybe were maybe a little slow to respond to in the past are a little bit quicker to respond. When you beat the number 4 team in the country and pretty much really dominate the game, that right there, I mean, that's even more impressive than just the 1914. I mean, you look at the total yardage, you look at basically just 2 drives that, obviously they had a chance to score and win the game, on that last drive. But other than that, and the other 2 drives, but that one drive was, obviously helped with 2 personal fouls. So you look at the game and just how Arkansas pretty much overall dominated the game. That right there is so impressive, and kids gravitate towards teams that do that and also win a big game. So obviously this is step one. If they can somehow get a string of wins over the next few weeks, that just takes things to a different level.
Richard, you mentioned maybe some feedback you might be getting after Saturday night from guys interested coming on Saturday. From the feedback you receive from, like I said, parents, players, coaches, what did you take in from that feedback this past Saturday?
Well, just the environment, just the atmosphere, the fan base, and also just the fight that Arkansas had. I mean, at the end of the game, you could tell that Landon Jackson, Eric Gregory, Cam Ball, the defensive line. Obviously, I'm sure the linebackers and defensive backs were exhausted too. But at the same time, when you're a 300-pounder or close to it, Landon Jackson about 280. You could tell they were exhausted near the end of the game.
Gregory made that last tackle, RD, and he looked like he was like they just won, and he put his hands up, and he's like, I'm about to fall over.
Yeah. I mean, and he did that. He forced him out. I mean, he was going out of bounds, but he forced him out, and just his effort. He was moving pretty good to force Nico out of bounds, and here's a guy that just laid it on the line all game, and you're talking about a 310, 320-pound defensive lineman. I tell you what, that's the thing that I really noticed. And kids, that play the game in high school, they notice that, and that shows the culture and the drive that the kids on the team have, and that makes you want to be a part of that. It really does.
Richard, as we let you go here, one of the things I mentioned Saturday night following the game is, hey, maybe you got a chance to flip some of these in-state kids that are committed. So, like Karis Kern, who's currently committed to LSU, Omarion Robinson to Oklahoma, Daniel Anderson to Notre Dame, Marcus Wimberly to Oklahoma, just to name a few. I mean, if Arkansas keeps winning, in your esteemed opinion, do they got a chance to flip any of these kids?
Well, I mean, I think it helps. Only time will tell on down the road. But I think obviously, you know, you as a kid, 17, 18-year-old kid, you're going to class, and let's face it, most of the kids that they're friends with are probably Razorback fans, or you know, and teachers, and you're hearing positive things about the home state school. You know, I imagine it can make things a little bit more interesting near the end. But only time will tell. But you know, all you can do as Arkansas is keep recruiting them and hopefully keep winning and see what happens. So you know, obviously with Manan Robinson and the safety that's committed to Oklahoma at Parkview. I mean, he's got two teammates that are committed to Arkansas. So. Mm-hmm. You know, they're always probably talking to him, but Coach Pittman's supposed to visit, go to their game on Thursday. Talking about Little Rock Parkview's game against Hope on Thursday. So that's basically making a statement saying, hey, you guys that are committed, hey, we love you, but and also the guys that are not committed, we want you to jump on board. So I think that, you know, stuff like that obviously helps, but obviously, like you said, keep winning, and that can only improve your chances of maybe flipping them at the end.
Yeah, and the only two sets of members here in the state that don't actually get to enjoy bye week: the Arkansas football staff because they're recruiting, and our friend Richard Davenport who's covering what's going on. RD, appreciate it, man. Good stuff this morning as always, and we'll chat next week as we get ready for LSU.
All right, buddy. Hey, enjoy your time in Hot Springs Village. That's where I met Megan. Love Magellan.
Oh,
that's one of my favorite courses. So that's a good place.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.